Most men think the world will break them with some sudden catastrophic blow, but it's never that dramatic. The world breaks you slowly, drip by drip, in small compromises you don't even notice you're making. One day you wake up softer, more hesitant, and you tell yourself you're just being realistic. That's how the fall starts. Staying unshakable isn't about some heroic moment. It's about how you move in the small moments when quitting would be easier and no one would blame you. That's where your steel is either forged or rusted away. Zoro's strength didn't come from one fight. It came from years of never letting a single wound touch his code. The first law: your identity must be untouchable. You can change your clothes, your city, even your career. But if your identity bends every time pressure hits, you'll be remade by the world into something you don't recognize. Zoro didn't need applause or validation to know who he was. His title wasn't the strongest swordsman, not yet. His title was the oath he swore to himself, the one line he wouldn't cross. Most people anchor their identity to things they can lose: money, relationships, social status. That's why they panic when the storm comes. Anchor yourself to something that can't be taken from you, and the storm becomes irrelevant. In law, remove the option to quit. Weak men always keep a back door open. They say they're committed, but deep down they're already thinking about what they'll do if it doesn't work out. That's not commitment. That's self-sabotage on a delay. Zoro never carried a plan B because plan B means you're already halfway to abandoning plan A. When you burn the bridges, you stop looking over your shoulder. You move forward because there's nowhere else to go. That's why unshakable men don't hesitate. They know hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will. Third law: control the frame, not the noise. Life will throw chaos at you: betrayals, delays, unexpected blows. You can't stop that. What you can stop is letting it dictate your mind. The difference between the man who breaks and the man who bends but doesn't fall is perspective. Weak men think, "This is unfair, I'm finished." Strong men think, "This is the arena. This is where my code is tested." Zoro could be outnumbered, bleeding with, but his inner frame never no way out shifted. That's why he could still choose his moves with precision when everyone else froze. Fourth law: selective battle. Not every insult, not every challenge deserves your blade. The unshakable man knows where his fire is best spent. Weak men waste themselves trying to prove something to everyone. Strong men prove themselves to no one except their mission. Zoro doesn't chase every fight. He prepares for the fight, the one that defines him. In your life, that means ignoring the petty distractions, the online arguments, the gossip, the approval games. They drain your focus before the real test even arrives. Fifth law: bleed in silence. Move in purpose. Weak men turn pain into performance. They need sympathy to keep going. Strong men let pain sharpen them in the dark. Nothing happened. That's all Zoro said after taking damage that would cripple most men. That's not arrogance. That's control. That's the discipline of refusing to let the enemy know where you're weak. In your life, pain should make you quieter and more dangerous, louder and more desperate. Not. Sixth law: stillness under fire. Most men panic when the ground shakes. They act fast, but not smart. The unshakable man does the opposite. He slows down inside, even if everything outside is moving fast. That's why Zoro could stand calmly in front of opponents who wanted to kill him. It's the ability to stillness, is not passivity. Think clearly while everyone else is blinded by their emotions. The first man to lose his calm is already halfway to losing the fight. Seventh law: a code heavier than comfort. If your loyalty, your discipline, your word only exist when they're easy to keep, you'll fold under real pressure. Zoro's loyalty to Luffy wasn't convenient. It was absolute. That's why no amount of pain, temptation, or humiliation could rewrite it. In your life, that code might be your principles, your discipline, your promises, but if you abandon them the moment they cost you something, you were never serious about them in the first place. Eighth law: build immunity to validation. Approval is addictive, and once you're hooked, you're no longer unshakable, you're programmable. You'll start adjusting your moves based on who's clapping and who's not. Zoro never needed the crowd to believe in him to keep swinging. He believed in himself enough to keep moving forward in total silence. In your life, you have to kill the need for constant recognition if you want to move freely. Ninth law: make peace with the worst outcome. You can't be unshakable if you're terrified of losing. Weak men cling to safety, which makes them easy to manipulate. Strong men accept that they could lose everything and still choose to move forward. That's why Zoro could stand in impossible situations without fear. Once you stop negotiating with loss, you stop being controlled by it. And here's the final truth. Being unshakable is not about looking strong. It's about refusing to break where it actually matters. It's the product of hundreds of unseen choices, nights where you kept going when no one would have blamed you for stopping. Moments where you swallowed your pride to protect your mission. Days where you carried the weight in silence. That's the path. That's why so few walk it. Burn the escape routes. Master your frame. Guard your fire. Bleed quietly. Stand still when the ground shakes. And live by a code that even death can't strip from you. That's how you stay unshakable. That's how storms stop being threats and start becoming home.